Hey everyone, Mark here, and welcome to day 4 of my daily video vlogs. I'm covering the training I'm doing here at Keswick on preaching and communications. And it is 7 o'clock on Thursday morning. I'm looking forward to today's sessions where we'll be continuing our work around creating a 20-minute sermon, and then this afternoon moving on to looking at how we can carry out sermons without having to rely on notes. Yesterday's sessions were great. It was probably the most challenging day, but actually the most enjoyable day. And our work today will continue to build up towards what we're going to do tomorrow, which is delivering the sermon that we are using the training this week to put together. So for now, I'm going to have some breakfast, I'm going to get ready, and then I'm going to head down to the training, which starts at 9 o'clock. So it is now 8 PM and we are done with the training for today. And I have to be honest here and say that today was actually the same as yesterday in what I said, where I said yes, it was the worst, best, most enjoyable, most stretching day. The other things I said today was the same. Today basically what we did was we took the message that we've done, we finished that off, and we compiled basically the idea of putting this together in the 20-minute sermon, and we then this afternoon kind of gutted the entire thing and simplified it to the point where basically it was just bullet points, things that we would remember. So how I approach that was I try to do that in this way of trigger statements. If you don't know what trigger statements are, what they are is basically words, phrases, sentences that basically make you remember either memories or what you're going to say or something else. And one thing that is even more interesting than what we've done today, which has been really enjoyable, really beneficial, is what happened after the session. And what do I mean by that exactly? Well, let me tell you about what I did when I came back after the session. So I come back up to where I'm staying and left my stuff here, and basically went out and had a bit to eat, but what I took with me was really just the bare minimum stuff. I took my phone, headphones, my charger because my phone was running low, and a fresh notepad. Didn't even take any of the stuff that we've done in the sessions. So I ended up going down to Fry's Crag. Fry's Crag is one of my favourite spots in Keswick. It's a really nice spot, about half a mile walk outside of the town centre, and it's a really nice peaceful location, especially on a night like tonight where it's nice and bright and calm as well. And so I went down there and took a completely fresh notepad, nothing in there at all, and sat down and had a think and had a pray about what was going to be included in this message, and felt as if there was quite a bit of needed change. Originally the context of the message was basically about kind of getting off your backside and doing stuff, where really I started thinking through and having to pray and really kind of coming to the conclusion that discipleship, which is really what is at the core of this passage of Acts 2:41 to 47, discipleship is at the core. But discipleship is really about time. It's not really about the mechanicals that we do. It's not really about teaching people ABCs of Christianity or any fancy acronyms to remember what it is. It's about time. It's about them investing the time and spending time with Jesus, and times of prayer, talking to him, times of reading his word, remembering what he's done, and spending time with those who also believe in Jesus as well. But on the opposite side end of the spectrum is also about us, and our time. What time do we invest in those who could do with a bit more encouragement, a bit more growth, a bit more spiritual development? Who are we committing to spend that time with? And that is kind of really, for me, starting to feel like that should be the crux of this message. It's not basically, originally it was about kind of, when God acts, we are to respond to that. And yes, that is true. But I think the big question now coming out of this is actually, Are you willing to spend the time investing in the people God brings to us? Now, for some of us, I'm going to take a bit longer here actually on the video than I thought, but for some of us that may mean investing time in people that we don't particularly like, or people that we think are a bit iffy or a bit off, or basically the kind of people you wouldn't want to spend time with. And that's a real challenging point, and it's a challenging point for me as well, because in myself I've noticed that in recent years I've become a little bit more cliquey, and that's certainly not what God's intention is. God intends for everybody to be brought to Him and to come to know Him as their Lord and their Saviour. And as Christians, we need to be able to be people who can invest time in anybody that God brings to us. Now, does that mean that God is going to drop somebody in your front door who, maybe you just can't stand? To be honest, the answer to that might be yes. The answer might be yes. But at the same time, everybody is created in the image of God and deserves, because of God and who He's created them to be, they deserve that time and that investment. It's not something that they've earned, it's not something that we've earned. Quite frankly, I've not earned for anybody to give two monkeys about me. But as Christians we should, because God does, because Jesus does. And He is the model, He is the standard. It's not us, it's not anything that we do. And yeah, so it kind of felt as if this is kind of what the message should be about the time that we invest in each other and those who need that extra little push to help them grow in the right way spiritually. And even that's changed the options I had. We had this bit at the end of kind of giving people options and going, maybe this is what you need to do, maybe this is what you need to do. And now it's kind of went from being what it was to now being simply two things. One for those who are Christians and one for those who aren't. And we'll see how things go overnight, and we'll see what God kind of brings in the morning. But I think that's really it. It's about the time. It's about what time we invest in people, what time we invest in those who need it. I mean, simply put, imagine if everybody who needed that time, who whether Christian or whether not, but everybody who needs that time invested in them, had that time invested in them, how stronger would the church be? How much more of an impact would we make? We would see what the Bible talks about in this very passage I'm preaching on. Acts 2:47 says that God added daily to them those who were being saved, and this is a result of the apostles taking the time out to be with those who needed it. So before I start packing up and finish off for the night, what I want to say is this experience has been a bit of an eye-opener. Actually, it's been a bit of an eye-opener, and I'm going to go back to church on Sunday. In fact, I'm meeting with due to meet with my pastor tomorrow, but I'm going to go back to church having a completely different viewpoint on discipleship, on how we do it and what it is. As I say, it's not about a checkbox mentality. It's not about you do X, Y, Z and whatever, but it's about time. So yeah, so as I say, I'm going to finish off here, and I'm going to wish you all good night, and I will see you again very briefly in the morning for the vlog. and the full one will come out tomorrow evening, and then there'll be a review one on Saturday, which after today might be very interesting. So good night, and I will see you tomorrow.